a little too soon before, or a little too early before Valentine's Day, but you got to get Barry White to get in the mood, right? For pretty much anything. Barry White will get you in the mood. Good morning. It'll get you in the mood for office hours this morning, that's for sure. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours on Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station. It's 10:04 on Friday, February 2nd, and 69 degrees here in the beautiful Upper Rio Grande Valley. Looks like we're expecting, it's cloudy right now, but I guess we can expect a nice high today of about 80. Although this afternoon, when it's 80 degrees here in Edinburgh, I'm going to be up in Corpus Christi because I was able to score some tickets to the Bryan Adams show tonight up in Corpus Christi. So I'm going to head up there this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to that show. For those of you that don't know Bryan Adams, he's came around in the 80s. One of the first concerts I ever saw was Bryan Adams at Madison Square Garden in New York City. This would have been back in 1984, 85, something like that. So, I remember that So it's a bit of a throwback in history for me. So thanks for tuning in this morning. It is 41 degrees in Westport, Massachusetts. Shout out to Bill and his beautiful bride, Erica. Hopefully they're having a good day today. 57 degrees in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Shout out to Seth out there. And 41 degrees in Spokane, Washington. Our buddy Steve, who tunes in from Spokane. Hopefully he's listening this morning. Again, not our Valentine's show. We still got a couple weeks for that. But I just felt like we wanted to have some Barry White on this morning. I got a great poem picked out for you at the bottom of the hour. And as we do, at 50 minutes after the hour, and then at the bottom of the hour, as we always do, we've got this day in history for February 2nd. But for now, let's get back to the music. Again, I got a set here that I picked out that's going to be, I guess, kind of lovey-dovey, sort of. I'm not sure this is something that you would play to get in the mood necessarily, but, we can't go wrong with Ms. Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. This one's called Killing Me Softly with his song, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. The Weekend with Call Out My Name. Before that, you heard Cigarettes After Sex with Nothing's Gonna Hurt You, Baby, and we started off that set with the Fugees and Ms. Lauryn Hill with Killing Me Softly. Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. It's Friday, February 2nd, 20 minutes after the hour, and a relatively mild 69 degrees here in the Upper Rio Grande Valley. Looks like we're expecting a high temperature today of 80, and over the weekend it looks like we can expect similar weather. Tomorrow, a high of 83, a 17% chance of rain tomorrow, a low of 50. Sunday, another high of 82, a low of 51, and then Monday and Tuesday, both highs of 75 with sunny skies here in the beautiful Rio Grande Valley. So thanks for tuning in. Lots of great stuff going on this weekend. We've got the women's basketball team playing here at the Field House tomorrow at 2. They lost a big one yesterday to the Utah Tech Trailblazers, and 91-55. But hopefully you can come back. They're playing Southern Utah tomorrow. And then next they play at home. They're playing Stephen F. Austin University, newest addition to the UT system. So that'll be UTRGV or SFA coming into town. Stephen F. Austin coming into town Thursday, February 8th at 6:30 p.m. The men also got beat pretty badly at Utah Tech, 81-64 yesterday. And they're still on the road. They'll be on the road tomorrow. They play Southern Utah at 7:30 p.m. And then on Thursday, February 8th, they'll be in Nacogdoches playing the men's Stephen F. Austin basketball team in their field house. That'll be on Thursday, February 8th at 6:30 p.m. So exciting stuff coming up for the Vaquero athletes. Make sure, remember, students get in free to the field house here on campus. So make sure you are supporting our Vaquero athletes, going out there and checking out basketball. Baseball season's coming up soon, including a game, I believe, toward the end of this month. So if you've not been to the UTRGV baseball stadium. Great place to see a game, great place to be outdoors, and make sure that you take advantage of our generally nice weather and warm day, even for baseball in the early part of the season. So. We've got the This Day in History coming up in just a bit, but let's get back to the music. Here's a little Todd Rundgren. I've been on a bit of a Todd Rundgren pick lately. So this one's Bang the Drum All Day. Who wants to work? I don't want to work. I want to bang the drum all day. Only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Here Comes My Girl. Only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Before that, you heard Todd Rundgren. Bang the drum all day. Who does it? Who can't relate? I mean, really, who wants to work? We don't want to work. We want to bang the drum all day. As we do every week on office hours, we have This Day in History on this, and this is has some local flavor here. Check this one out. On February 2nd, 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is signed, ending the Mexican-American War in favor of the United States. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo added an additional 525,000 square miles to the United States territory, including the area that would become the states of Texas, California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona, as well as parts of Colorado and Wyoming. Controversy during and after the war pitted President James K. Polk in a political war against two future presidents, Zachary Taylor and Abraham Lincoln. Polk, a Democrat, ignited the Mexican-American War when he sent his commanding general of the Army, Zachary Taylor, and his troops to claim territory along the Rio Grande River between the U.S. and Mexico. Polk insisted Mexico had invaded the U.S. when an earlier skirmish between American and Mexican troops erupted over the ill-defined territorial boundaries of Texas. Polk's action was immediately denounced by Abraham Lincoln, then a leading Whig member of Congress, who described the resulting war as unconstitutional, unnecessary, and expensive. While Taylor performed his military duty in Texas, Polk wrestled with congressional opposition led by Lincoln and Washington. Polk was a firm believer in America's, quote, manifest destiny of increased U.S. territorial expansion in order to bring democracy and Protestant Christianity to a backward region. Lincoln and his cohorts protested not so much expansionism itself, but Polk's justification of the war. Although the war ended favorably for the U.S., Lincoln continued to attack Polk after the signing of the treaty for his lack of an exit strategy that clearly defined citizenship and property rights for former Mexican citizens. Lincoln called the president, quote, a bewildered, confounded, and miserably perplexed man. Although Polk's war was successful, he lost public support after 2 bloody years of fighting, during which the U.S. lost 1,773 men and spent a whopping $100 million. A few years later, then Congressman Lincoln would become president. In 1897, black inventor Alfred Crail patents the first ice cream scoop. Thank you, sir. Thank you. What better way to enjoy ice cream than scooping it out of out of a container? In 1974, The Way We Were becomes Barbra Streisand's first #1 hit. In 1913, Grand Central Terminal opens in New York City. In 2014, actor Philip Seymour Hoffman dies of a drug overdose at the age of 46. In 1971, dictator and all-around bad guy Idi Amin takes power in Uganda. In 1887, the first Groundhog Day occurred in Pennsylvania, and then in 1980, Abscam, the operation was revealed. This corrupt Congress folks and selling secrets to it was all depicted in the film American Hustle with Bradley Cooper and J. Law and who else was it? Christian Bale was in there. So that's a film I got to check out. I think I watched it, but I must have fell asleep because I don't remember most of it. Also, let's get one more. How about this one? In 1876, the National League of Baseball is founded. So that's your that's your this day in history. I was about to say for further study. That's what I do in class. We're not in class today. It's Friday. There's no class today. So 72 degrees in Edinburgh right now, here in the beautiful upper Rio Grande Valley. 41 degrees in Spokane, Washington. 59 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. 42 in Westport, Massachusetts. And you're listening to Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. We've got some great music coming up for you here in just a second. After a little bit of a PSA, we're going to hear some U2. So that's REM with Talk About the Passion from their Murmur long player LP record. Before that, you heard Pink Floyd. That was a deep cut from the soundtrack to the film More, a 1969 film directed by Barbet Schroeder. Actually, his film debut, as a matter of fact. Pink Floyd did the whole soundtrack for that movie, including that song Green is the Color. A couple other great songs on that record. Cymbeline, that's another great one. Crying Song. The Nile Song, oh gosh, that's a heavy one. The Nile Song. Before that, you heard Led Zeppelin with Friends. That's one we haven't played on Office Hours before. A nice, great Led Zeppelin track. As we do every week here on Office Hours, I've got a great poem picked out for you. This is from, once again, the Gallery magazine, another fine production of UTRGV Student Media. This is the final UTPA edition from 2015, and it's a poem called Friday Night and the Fiancé by Ashley Franklin. I hate sleeping in this bed alone, everything in this house you own. There is no reprise for me on nights like this, TV blaring in the other room, phantom-like glow invading under the door like a roach, the theme song to Law and Order. No sanctuary from this deafening loneliness or the feeling of being a stranger in this green room I painted myself. The paint is mine, like some crumpled sweaters and a stack of comic books and the dog. The only things that are mine and mine alone, engulfed in you. You. In the selfishness of your perceived selfishness, the charity of taking in this stray girl like a mangy cat missing a tail, another thing for you to own, a possession to put up on a shelf beside Machiavelli, between Akira and conversational Spanish for dummies, to look at sometimes, to pretend to read, and leave alone. That's a poem called Friday Night and the Fiancé by Ashley Franklin from the 2015 UTPA Final Edition Gallery Magazine. Remember to pick up Gallery Magazine on campus at many of the receptacles out there. 10:54 here on Friday, February 2nd. Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. Hopefully you got some great plans for the weekend. Remember, there's basketball at the Fieldhouse this weekend. The women's basketball team is playing tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. Students get in free to the Fieldhouse. Looks like we're expecting a high today in the upper Rio Grande Valley of about 80 degrees and sunny skies. Slight chance of rain overnight with a low of 67. And coming up in the next few days, 83 degrees as a high tomorrow on Saturday, 82 on Sunday, and 75 on Monday and Tuesday with clear and sunny skies on Monday and Tuesday. So it looks like we got some continuing good weather coming up. Not too hot. Although I did have to close my windows and turn my air on last night. So there's that. Hopefully you're going to have a good weekend. We'll always have a good weekend here at Vaquero Radio. I'll be up in Corpus tonight at the Bryan Adams concert. Tomorrow night, I'll be at AEW Wrestling at Bert Ogden Arena. Maybe I'll see you there. I'm going to leave you with a bit of it was kind of, I guess, a little bit out of the genre for this show because we've been mostly lo-fi. But I'm going to send this one out to a contestant on The Bachelor. I have to say I am hashtag Team Maria. So on the final song of the show, we're going to play Maria by Rage Against the Machine, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Have a great weekend, Vaqueros. We'll catch you next week.